I'm going to say to the 2015-2016, and I can say that. I'm going to change it up to the 2015-2016 Season 2 Gold Leagues. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left is David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube at /WGLNA. If you're not watching this on battleviewer.com, go over there right now and check it out. And finally, follow us on Twitter at WGLNA, so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you and answer for us the question of the day.
Jez, who is your best battle buddy?
Now, we've switched it up. I mean, every time we've answered this, we feel like we've kind of switched it up. So for this one, my best battle buddy has to be Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Well, you know, mine certainly is not Jay Smooth.
Wow. Oh, harsh.
Putting it out there.
So that opens a possibility.
I'm going to double down and go with Trevor again.
All right, good. Yeah.
Trevor does a ton of work.
Trevor twice.
Ton of work.
You do, Trevor. Pounds out to you.
He doesn't just put up memes on BattleViewer like you does. He does actual work.
So right now in the chat, give Trevor some love and let us know on Twitter who your best battle buddy is. And our fourth and final match is about to get underway. The face-off is ready. We have 07 versus Ping. On the side of 07, we have Meadowhawk. On the side of Ping, we've got Shimbo. Gentlemen, welcome to the face-off. It's been a while since we've seen both of you. And Meadowhawk going to go over and start with you. Now, since we haven't seen you from 2015, I'm going to ask you the same question as all the teams we haven't seen, I feel like, in months, it feels like. What have you guys been up to as a team?
We've been reassessing how our members have been playing, making some changes. For instance, tonight, Vetro, Commodore not playing. They're out. Rox is in. I could be in. We'll see. But
okay.
Readjusting our lineup because of recent performance.
All right. That's probably shocking a lot of people.
No, he's joking.
He's joking.
I think they're the top 2 pointers right now.
Okay.
Because if you take Vetro out of this battle, I will come to your house and take you out to dinner.
Whoa,
maybe?
David! Whoa.
The self is real, David. I hate to break it to you. If we go up, I'm replacing Vetro tonight.
Oh, wow. All right. I mean, we can yeah, we'll wait.
Don't break my heart like this. Who's your battle buddy, Meadowhawk?
Well, now see, if you would have asked me at the start of the night, I would have quickly replied, it was Toma.
Yeah.
But Toma has now had 4 chances to answer this question. And not once has he mentioned his battle buddy for life. And who is that, true. Christian Toma?
Christian.
That is
Christian,
true.
we have the same name. It's always you. You know this.
No, it's not. No, you're out.
Him.
You're out.
This is one
no,
of,
David, you're in. David, you're in.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I deserve
You
that.
take that pretty smile and you walk away.
You've actually called him battle buddy for life more than once, and then you backstab him like this.
Yeah, I feel awful. I feel awful.
You should.
All right, you can ask the rest of the questions.
Okay. Shimbo, who is your best battle buddy?
My best battle buddy, I think, Sheep.
Oh, Sheep, yeah. That's a good
Yes.
one.
Yes, I know him 3 years ago and play together a lot.
That's always important.
Yeah. Time
Yes.
equals battle buddies. Oh, this? What is this? Oh, this is just a heart.
You can't see it.
Yeah, this is just a heart with Meadowhawk on it.
No, it just says Meadow. He just likes Meadows, not Meadowhawk.
Oh yeah, this says Meadow.
So again, he backstabs you.
All right, gentlemen, before we get to the battle, Meadowhawk, is there anything you'd like to say to Shimbo before we get started?
Nothing much. Have good luck.
All right, Shimbo, your response?
Good luck, man.
All right, gentlemen, best of luck to both of you. We'll see you shortly. Oh, man, I'm going to have to tweet at him.
Well, there in 07 are 9 different people who would not be your battle buddies, and Meadowhawk crying now that Skype is off. And sending me
I feel so bad.
all the love. For Ping, who we just saw, called out Sheep as his battle buddy.
Yeah.
And that was Shimbo that we had on screen. Now let's check out the fantasy page for these two teams. 07 favoring Himmelsdorf and Ping favoring Steps. Both teams liking the E5. Yeah, check it out here. He's talking about benching his topper.
No. There's no way.
Top scorer, Vetro.
There's no way. I mean, chat's probably freaking out right now. Oh, no, why?
And then for Ping, that would be Tauntanagas.
All right, well, there you go. So you have Taunt, you have Vetro. Those are the two guys that are the top point scorers, so look out for them into both of these teams. But so right now, we're going to start out onto Proc. We haven't seen both these teams in a while. Last time we saw Ping does a really good on this map. We've seen them go up against a lot of teams and claim a lot of victories. So it seems like they have
Yeah, I would have said
figured
that
out.
their two maps that they want are Pro and Steps. And if Steps is next,
Then
that's like the second or third time this has happened in a row.
With-
Are people just
They've got-
letting
yeah.
Ping pick anything they
Like,
want here?
Big, what do you want? What do you want? You tell us.
Shimbo is secretly just a master map picker.
Yeah, he just knows
Just mind tricking
how to manipulate the system.
You want to play Steps. They're like, I want to play Steps.
Good for you, Shimbo. Keep it up, man. But right now, we are starting on Prokhorovka. 07 is on defense. Ping on offense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
For 07, we have two E5s, an Action X, a 140, a T22, TVP, and an RU-251. For simple tankers, we have two IS-7s, a 140, or sorry, two 140s, two 907s, and an RU-251.
All right. Battle has begun here. Looking at these sweet camos on the side of 07. Take some shots there, destroying the destructible building that you can here over on the western cap. Sending Fossa for a pretty good scout over on the western side. Now, when I see the RE251s, when I see the different scouts for both of these teams go, like we see Sheep doing for Ping999 at the same spot, what Sheep is doing, I see more often than what Fossa was doing right there. Generally, they stay over on the other side of the railroad tracks, and they go way far west. But Fossa is going right in the middle. Is that something? Is it pretty flexible of what the scout can do generally, or is there like three that, oh yeah, you always do this run, you always do this run, you always do this run?
It is kind of flexible, but they're also standard runs, and both of them are doing standard runs.
Okay.
So one is you kind of go up the 4-line, you swing east. You typically don't do that if you don't have any support east, but maybe there's a reason why he thought that way. And then the other direction being the kind of one where you come up the 5 or the 3 and then go the opposite direction. Both teams scouts kind of going a different direction than I remember being kind of standard, but similar paths, just done the other way around.
All right. So we got, like,
Well, no, actually, now that I look at it, Faustus makes sense because he's trying to get away to get into the A6 corner. So that's just a different way of doing things. Anyways, as long as he's on this side of the map, his team can support him, so he's not at risk whatsoever.
Okay. Let's say for a second there we had a little bit of a mirror. We had both the RE251s just kind of right on the respective A6 and K6 areas. But Ping's RE251 continuing to go up the hill. Now you guys see down the southeastern corner. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is kind of stalling out again, like we see over here on the west side. Both teams push up. You have a pretty even spread. Some supporting from the back, some right on the top. And now, when this happens, what is it mainly that you watch for a trigger? What is going to be the trigger for one of these teams?
What they're looking for right now, their current positions, they can't really be triggered per se. I mean, 07 could decide to just go up and over on these two IS-7s, but it's not necessarily a good plan on its own, if that makes sense. There is a path to get back closer to where the 140s and everything are and somewhat negate the IS-7s.
Okay.
But I don't know if it still really works. You can draw it. You can draw it.
Let's draw it.
It doesn't look like anybody's going to be doing anything for a while. So you can either come in this way or this way, and you're kind of staying along one of these berms to keep these guys from being able to shoot you.
Okay.
These guys can poke up and fire down, and that's what makes this not particularly great. But if you get all the way into here, you're safe. And if you have your other teammates come down here, you're safe. You can get these guys, or they can go into there, where then they're all sort of stuck, and they have to go up and over and get shot at the whole time. This requires so much more explanation about how and when to do that, and what you're looking for, and what your focuses are. And then on top of that, you have to have a lot of knowledge about what to do in any situation that you see. So all the different variables, when you would turn this way, and when you would stop and fire, and when you would never stop, all these kinds of things, you have to know them very, very, very well in order to do something like that. Okay. But that is an incredibly aggressive break that you have no reason to do in the current format.
Yeah.
Just drawing it because right now teams are stagnating, and they're
one of the things
we got time to talk about stuff like that. But in the past, when there were two caps, one on each side, that was one of the ways you would break it, because teams would hard camp in the southwest like that. You had to know exactly how to do it. Draw their fire, isolate the guys in one of the bowls, basically dividing up all that different area into zones of fire, and then find the overmatch. Draw people around, create an isolation, take it.
And that's one way to do it right now, though. Fossa getting lit up for 07. He's going to be going down all with the finishing shot there. But beautiful focus coming out from most of the members of Ping. Sheep doing a great job lighting him up. For the rest of the team to kind of pick him apart. Now Ping, with that RU2F1 going down, are just going to start putting pressure over on the east side now. And I do not blame them. They have tanks here. They know 07. They probably have a really good idea where a lot of members of 07 are at. And now it's going to be up to 07 to put over 3 members going on the cap.
Ping did pick up the RU-251, so there is now effectively no scouting on the entire eastern side of the map. They can put members on cap, and there's not a whole lot 07 can do about it besides drive directly there. But when they get there, they're going to get lit up at the 2 IS-7s, provided the IS-7s stay even remotely where they are right now.
Wow.
This is getting worse and worse and worse for 07 unless they just go hard up and over the A6 area and take those 2 shots from the IS-7s and hit them in the side. Something like that. We can talk about all the details, but it's about to happen, and we'll see. 5 seconds left. Can 07 stop this?
Synergy leading the charge right now with Vetro and Ziggs here right behind him. They're doing the other members of Ping doing a great job to block the shots. The shots going out, nothing connecting though, and that is going to be Ping successfully capping against 07. ZXT taking down Sheep right at the end there, but it is not going to matter. Ping, the first victory of our 4th and final match of the night against 07 on the Proc. Now that was very interesting. It's amazing. I'm talking about usually scouts. Things you can sacrifice in the beginning, or you do their job. You'll find the map information. You touched on it, I think, on match number 2, and it's showing how important those things are for this map. Once one was down, Ping's like, okay, let's push over to the east. Nothing 07 could do. They couldn't even really make it over there in time. They did, but there wasn't enough information. Couldn't get the shots. If you're on Pro, keep your scouts alive. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You need all that control, and maybe if the match, the next match kind of goes in that way, we can kind of draw a little bit more on the map and divide up these different zones and why you need the tanks. Draw it much more clearly, because of course it makes sense. 7 tanks makes it easier to observe things, but until you really see the vectors on the map and the different areas that you're pushing for and how segmented they are and where they're segmented, you don't really understand it completely. But statistically, there's nothing to look at. There's barely any fighting there.
Not much happening.
Vetro almost got 1,000, but that's it. Kamador got 800, and Tontanakis did 1,400, and Reaper did 1,000. So a little bit more damage on Ping's side there, but ultimately not going to really affect your fantasy score.
Yeah,
on either side.
More of the cap points. There's some cap points on Ping, so that's good for them.
Yeah.
But again, we're kind of seeing more of this, like the pressure that a cap can bring. You put 3 members on it immediately, and your team's like, all right, now we only have 25 seconds to react. And that in a game, obviously, if you're not ready for that, or that catches you off guard. I mean, maybe you can tell me from experience. When you are forced to make a call instead of planning it yourself, when you're forced to react. Well, we're getting into a match, so I can't quite ask this question. We'll ask it if the same match goes like last time. But right now, Ping is up 1-0 against 07. They are on defense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
Read them off real quickly, and you can ask.
Copy that.
07, 2 E5s, a 142, T22s, a TVP, and RU-251. Ping with 2 I7s, 2 907s, 2 STPs, and an RU-251. What's the question?
The question was, when you are, as a caller, have to react to something instead of getting to plan it out, what is the process? How does that look like? I mean, is it really stressful? Is it pretty easy? You're pretty prepared for that as a caller? I mean, does it really catch you off guard, or is that something that still is so hard to prepare for?
You prepare for it. So as a caller, you're kind of always willing to leave a tank. Like we said, you're counting tanks. You're keeping track of where they are. So timing is a big thing, a part of everything. You're always trying to figure out where they can get in a certain amount of time, where you would need to be in that super amount of time. It is a very complicated game of chess. It's all tanks is.
Gotcha.
Where the pieces have to fight to see who wins. So, for example, if you're worried about cap pressure in a certain place, you would never have, say you know where 6 of the tanks are, but you don't know where 1 is, right? You would need to make sure, say 3 are missing. You would need to make sure you have a tank able to get back to that cap in the time it takes to cap. And it has to be a tank that can get there comfortably, aim and fire, and continuously put out the damage to reset all 3 of those people, assuming that the rest of your tanks can't get there in an amount of time. So you're always looking at the chain of timing it takes to get anywhere. As a captain, as somebody, even as a player, if you're on the highest level, you are essentially running a field of timers in your head at all times. Timers on all the tanks, timers on all on everything.
The shots, sure.
Yeah, sure. Because what you need to know, well, he shot 6 seconds ago. It takes him 6 seconds to reload, so he's loaded, right? Or the opposite. He just fired 2 or 3 seconds ago, but it's going to take him a long time. Or clips, right? You're counting how many times somebody has fired and how long it's going to take them from there. 24 seconds, 42 seconds, however long.
Wow.
So time is everything. Time and tank counting.
And now, does a lot of that just come from just practice after practice after practice?
Yes. You cannot go into a training room and drive around and learn those timings. It's something that you usually learn either by evaluating replays and actually stop watching them, or just getting a feel for it and thinking about it, or as your captain constantly looking at the clock and different things. But mostly it's a feel thing for most captains, because nobody can actually just remember all those times perfectly.
Sure.
You just do it so much that it becomes second nature. The less you think, the better you'll be, honestly.
All
If
right.
everything is just, if you're 100% prepared,
natural.
you don't need to think much.
It's kind of like what they told me in school. Like, your first guess is your best guess. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, something like that.
Warbander taking a shot there under the I-7 Reaper, and he's trying to approach them. 07 looks like they are going also for the Eastern Cap this time, but the only difference is even tanks 7-7. The RE-251 driven by Sheep is now making it all the way over to B0, as you can see right now. Flugie taking a little bit of damage there. Commodore taking a shot. Taunt trying to get one, I'm sure, right under the railroad there. Not just quite. Squeak that one out. Ald, Fluky, a lot of the members for Ping, though, just ready and waiting for 07 to step on this cap. Looks like they're more than happy to let them do this, as they seem pretty confident that they can reset it. And those shots from under, if we're going to get to this, if it looks like 07 is about to do what I think they're about to do, the position right now of Sheep, he is spotted in the RE-251 by Fosta, who is spotted out as well. But if Sheep doesn't go down, I mean, does that pretty much make the Eastern Cap just not even an option?
He will go down eventually. I mean, Fosta can go up there and get him manually, or light him. And there is no place where he can hide up there where he cannot be shot. He's just hiding in bushes, so that he's less likely to be shot. And apparently he knows
he's just
that
dodging
he can
left.
fire without shooting. Or without being spotted. That's an impressive preparation here. Now he's just firing into people on cap and nobody's doing anything about it. That's pretty crazy.
All right, well, Sheep using the RE-251 beautifully. All right, now this is the second time this week the RE-251 has been surprising and amazing, and he's still not even spotted. Fossa taking the shot there onto Sheep. There he goes, finally getting lit up between both the members, but that was a ridiculous amount of time before either of them were spotted out. Here comes 07 with the push. Rocks going right there onto Synergy. Sheep finally taking some damage over. Fossa taking even more. Forward or two, dropping him below half health in the 251. 07 not really worrying right now about the cap. They just want to take down these members in the north, but Taunt takes down Warbender. Here comes the 140, followed by the 50-51 for 07, going against the 2 STB1s. Being supported, though, still by Sheep, who is still alive on top of the hill. Tantanakis takes down Commodore. Fluky getting lit up. Beautiful focus fire coming out for 07. And that is a tank gone for Ping999. But Sheep taking on Fossa. Only 4 remain for 07. Sheep now on top of the hill, left to just dish out the damage. Reaper taking down ZXFT there. Techno's going to get rammed by Synergy 3K with the finish. Beautiful right there, but I'm not sure that is going to be enough, as now Rocks and Synergy both being spotted in the same spot, in the same part of the map. Gonna go
Sheep
down
is still
one
alive.
at a time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sheep's still
There
at
he
5.
goes.
Synergy picking that one up.
Synergy's like, well, we're going to lose this game, but I'm making sure Sheep dies.
Sheep going down, all being set on fire in that Object 907. Synergy 3K gonna ram. Wait, okay, no, that was the damage from all. I thought he just rammed his teammate into him and did damage to him.
That can happen.
Well,
You
wow.
can ram a wreck, and if the wreck makes contact at the right velocity, it can damage.
All
the
right,
tank
Shimbo
inside.
going for that right now. Vetro takes down Ald, but Vetro will be going down himself. 3 members of Ping still up, and this is going to be Ping's second victory. Our 4th match of the night. Vetro shouldn't be able to escape for too much longer here. There it is, a nice little track. A little bit of damage, and that is all it takes to finish off that tank. Ping999 with their second victory against 07. Now, Sheep's position. Let's talk about that for a second. Awesome if if the opponent is trying to go for the Eastern Cap. Awesome apparently for being pretty much invisible. Was that just complete coverage of the bushes?
Well, the bushes will make him invisible, and apparently he can fire up there as long as there's nobody within a certain distance, which is fairly common knowledge, but there should have been somebody there who could have spotted him because they had no real risk from being shot at other places.
Oh, okay. Okay.
07 just let him do it, is what I'm getting at. They let him do
Gotcha.
it for a really long time, and I'm
Gotcha.
not entirely sure why. Or they focused on him too much. There's a lot of different ways of looking at it, but he did let's just review the numbers.
Let's go to stats.
So, the man, sheep, 1743. And a lot of that was into E5s, which shooting E5s with heat rounds is not easy. I don't know how he was racking it up like that. Crazy. The IS-7's getting the most damage is not a common thing, but Reaper and Tontonakis, way, way up there. And then here for 07, Synergy in the lead with the T22, or sorry, Vetro in the lead with T22, and Synergy right behind him also with a T22. And everybody else just, I mean, these E5s got absolutely ruined. I'm not entirely sure what to make of what I just saw.
Okay.
I mean, obviously a lot of mistakes from 07's part. A lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And some great decisions by Ping. But some things that they shouldn't have been able to get away with, or
They
sometimes where
got
the
to do.
rotations were super late and they were letting people back in the game. It just wasn't
Punished by us.
what I would expect, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, sure. Now, and I mean, obviously, I'm assuming these teams know that, right? You get done with, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Most-
Yes. I mean, you can have a team do something that looks completely stupid, and then when they go back and look at it, they agree.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, right now, we're going to continue on with our fourth and final match. Ping is up 2-0 against 07. Can they make it 3, or can 07 start to come back? Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Can also be, well, I'll read the tanks and then I'll talk about it. 07 with an IS-7 at E5, 140, an STP, 2 T22s, and RU-251. Ping with an IS-7, 2 140s, 2 907s, a T22, and an RU-251 as well. So, what I was saying is, it can also be a communication error that causes certain things like
Simple as that. Okay.
So, I mean, not necessarily what we just saw, but when you have one of those things that just looks like, why would anybody be so bad to do that? It could just be a miscommunication. Like, I mean, I've lost games in the past where somebody said something like, this tank is here, or I got spotted by this, or, you know, I'm going to die. And then you go back and you look at the review and you're like, you weren't going to die. You were completely fine. Why did you make us all panic? And you made us, like, shift and do a bunch of other stuff because you just gave us bad information. Bad intel is the worst and most frustrating thing for a
You'd
game.
rather just have none than
Because
bad.
it's not even somebody making a mistake. Not necessarily. You know, it's like if somebody makes a mistake, you can be like, okay, sometimes people do that in a tank. Sometimes they just play bad, or they had a bad shot, or
Sure,
something.
sure.
And you can kind of forgive that. But when somebody lies to you, and then effectively lies, and then you make a decision based off of it, you as the commander feel guilty for that decision because it's ultimately your purview and your responsibility. But somebody else made you fail.
Never thought
and
about
it is,
that.
for me, it is hands down the most frustrating thing on the planet.
Wow. And as
Well,
we are
in-game.
talking sheep, getting lit up.
Ping's been doing that a while, and it keeps, well, it caught up to him. That's what I'm
Oh,
getting at.
sending sheep over there?
Yeah, by himself. And he may not be able to be spotted, but they'll know that somebody's there because he's spotting them.
Right.
So he has to
we
stay
talked
in a
about that.
place. Yeah, it's two-way information, right? So we've now seen 07 take the eastern side of the map, giving Ping the western side of the map. There's no real way they could have effectively stopped them from doing that. If you go east, your biggest hopes and dreams should be own east first, and then try to expand into the southwestern or northwestern quadrants.
Okay.
But you never want to just leave tanks over there because it's too far separation. You'll get wrecked.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if 07 can now take that one tank and turn it into a victory, as Ping is starting to put cap pressure over here on the eastern side with Shimbo in his Object 907 sitting those bushes. We see a lot of teams use if they're going onto this cap. 80 seconds on the clock, still plenty of time here. Commodore in the I-7, so close, but just can't see him because Shimbo's behind a bush. Now we have the Object 140 up in the north. David, what do you see?
Shimbo's about to get spotted by Foster, who's going to come in for the proxy light to make sure that doesn't happen. That didn't need to bring in a 251 for that. They could have blind fired it, but that just makes sure that anybody who has to go for that reset, if they take damage, they're getting it on the right thing.
Ah.
The Commodore doesn't even take damage, puts 481 out on Shimbo's 907, and the jig is up for the one cap from Ping.
Well, it looks like this is a great step for 07 to turn this into a victory now, as they have killed them out 3 minutes on the clock and a tank for Ping and 999. If 07 can hook this one up, this should be an easy victory for them. Ald and Technos. Those 140s firing down. Now Techno's position, David, over here in the E1, it's kind of up on the hill. There's a bush there. Now, is that a pretty safe position to be firing from at the distance we see a lot of these teams, fighting in? He has pretty good, it looks like pretty good shots down into the valley.
Yes. So he is invisible up there.
Really?
From tanks. Very close, actually.
Wow.
Fairly close.
Okay.
And he can fire almost anywhere, provided he has the right elevation that is inside render range, which is pretty far. And he can also still fire outside of his render range using either communication from his teammates or just deductive reasoning. When you get familiar with the minimap positions a lot of the time, you know where people like to go. You send some shots in there. If you see the tracer disappear, you keep firing.
There's a guy there.
It's the tracer. I mean, the tank may not render, but the tracer will stop if it hits something. So
no.
sometimes it's a nice
Pro
little way
tips.
of making sure you keep hitting somebody, even when you can't see it.
Tracer's gone? Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, you just keep firing until you see a tracer hit the ground.
All right. Well, there's another. While we're talking, another tank goes down for Ping999. Shimbo in the 907 is done. This is Ping. Looks like they're just going to try to go for maybe an aggressive push. They are down 2 tanks. You might just know it's kind of not hopeless at this, but pretty. It's getting to that hopeless situation right now for them.
Yep.
So they're just going to send what they've got straight at 07 and hope for the best.
Pretty much, and the best is not a good situation for them. However, they could pick up Commodore. It's just if they tried, they're going to get completely lit up by the other tanks. Now, if they want to push even further east, or they want to play around this area at all, the EF6 area, where this kind of crossroads in between everybody,
Okay,
they're going to get shot by Fosta from the hill. There was an STB up there that would have prevented that as well, but he came down for some reason. So, it's really just Commodore being the only one who's really exposed to Ping at all. And Ping doesn't really have any other options. If they want to go head-to-head, 07 will win at this point.
Yeah, just going to try to stall it out, maybe delay the inevitable there as Taunt getting lit up and taking damage. And that IS-7, a shot there.
Go.
Coming from Commodore. Yeah, this is the push. Ping just taking it, all they've got right to 07 to try and hope for the best. Let's see what happens here. 491 there going to the STV1, all taking 645, dropping just above half health. A little bit of damage they're going on to, but Vetro, along with the rest of 07, going to finish off Ald. That was a 140 going down. Commodore getting extremely low. One more shot, and he'll be going down. Reaper picks that one up, so that is one tank fallen for 07. But that is still have plenty in reserves. Reaper taking 288, a couple more shots, and he's going to be going down 744 on the Fluky. Rux, though, set on fire, 1,900 points of damage, and Reaper finishes him off as well. 2 kills going up from that T-22. ZXFT, though, does take Reaper down. Synergy 3K finds Fluky, and that's just going to be Technos and Taunt alive for Ping999. Technos about to fall any second there. There it is. Synergy 3K picking that one up, and look at, oh, poor Taunt, look at this view. He just got all the members of 07 running right to him. This is when you shoot the red thing, shoot the red thing. So just the whole screen is red. Taunt backing off the I-7. Nope, not getting far. ZXFT finishing that one off. And that is 07's first victory of the night against Ping999, making it 1-2. So they have a chance to tie it up before we move on to the next map. Again, one tank falling in the beginning. It was the RU-251, and that just led to the. That's the formula of this map. It seems like. Would there ever be a time that you wouldn't bring an RU-251 and sacrifice it for a different tank, or is a scout just so crucial for this map?
I'd say the scout is super crucial to this map. Perhaps you could bring an artillery on defense, maybe, but there's big risks to that. You may bring 2 tier 9s instead. Either way, I firmly believe you need the tanks for the vision.
Yeah.
But while we can.
Statistics. Let's go statistic.
Metro, 3762 out of his T22. ZXFT falling behind with 2484. And Synergy with 2479. I keep saying they're going to take out Vetro. Please.
Nice one.
Let's try Meadowhawk. Nice try. Technos for Ping holding it up with 2174, and Tontonagas behind him with nearly 2,000 in his IS-7.
All right, so now, again, 07 having a chance to tie this one back up. Looking at just kind of just how we've been seeing this go, it seems like a pretty much of a stalemate right in the center. The scouts kind of going out, either a scout getting taken out. We haven't really seen anything else in these teams. Just doing pretty standard pushes. If you are either 07 right now or you're Ping999, would you at the situation, take the opportunity to switch it up and maybe go for a crazy aggressive play? Or would you just like, hey, this is still going kind of in our favor and just still doing the same thing?
I would still basically keep doing the same thing. Most of the teams are favoring to the West, at least in the beginning. And any team that wants to meet in the West, if you have the experience, you know how to beat them, as long as they go to the West at the same time you do.
Huh.
So that's where I would probably be trying to focus on Pro. It's just, I'd go West.
West
If
side.
anybody met me there, I'd be like, cool, we win.
Let's fight.
As long as we do the right thing. And if you're not here, then I just make sure we have a plan to go from West to East and win that engagement as well. Just pretty much what we did for like 3 seasons when we played this map.
Hey.
It's just go West.
West is the best.
Pretty much.
And it worked out for you
You
guys.
can throw in an East every once in a while, especially on offense. It'd make a lot of sense to go East sometimes.
Okay.
But on defense, there's no real need to go East most of the time. It's too many caveats, man. I was just thinking of all the different
You're like, well, and this
Well,
one
there's-
time we went East and they had
Well, there was one season out of like we went West for 3 seasons and then we went East for 1 season because we had gone West for so long. People had figured it out and it was getting annoying. It's like we were talking about
Life
before.
of a pro
When
player,
people
guys.
know what you're gonna do, all they have to do is throw a wrench in it.
And you're
So
like, "Ah!"
you play and you keep doing the same thing and you keep doing a lot of your stuff. And eventually people learn it. And it's like you don't even know what you're gonna do here. You just know how to stop me
you
from
just
doing
know
what I want to do.
And you're like, and
it's
that's
so-
enough.
It's so
and that's all
frustrating.
you need.
It's so, well, yeah, it wasn't assault and defense back then.
All right,
So,
that's true. But,
gotta
now,
stop
but
talking
that
about
was in the past. Now we're at Assault and Defense, and right now 07 has a chance to tie it up against Ping with this final victory. Can they do it, or can Ping make it 3-1? Let's get right to it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Nothing like simultaneously talking about an outdated format and insulting your former competitors to really set the stage
two
for
birds, one
professionalism.
stone.
07 with 2 E5s, a 140, an SCB, 2 T22s, an RU251. Ping with 2 IS7s, 2 907s, 2 SCBs, and RU251 as well.
Oh. All right, 251s are back.
We shall. Yeah. This is a nice way of just looking at these initial movements for these two teams. So obviously, Ping's going west, and 07's going east. Teams will stop and stop, and then they'll probably send either something this way or around this way if they feel like being super cautious because they're getting lit by this guy. Otherwise, they'll go and they'll just don't all this. In the meantime, Ping will come down here. They'll realize that's open, and then they'll find some way of going.
Guys, as you're watching
east.
this, just keep in mind, this is why it's so fun to have David on your team.
One easy way of going east is actually set up in kind of these spots. So you get shots on anybody who wants to stop you here in the middle. And then you just send a scout like in through here. Then he can proxy light. You know anything that's along this light. And you take all your tanks up here. It's great.
You now
It's
know.
great.
You now know. The more you do this, the more that when we play together, I'm going to have you before the map begins. Always pull us up and draw what we're going to do for the game.
I can't tell you that in a public match.
Well, that's
If
fine. It's challenge. It's going to be the next challenge.
Public matches are inherently
It's good. It's going to be the next
not
challenge.
easy to understand because
That's why you're going to become the greatest
you got
caster in the world.
you get in these situations
In
and you're
the
like,
world.
I know what he's gonna do because it's the only smart thing to do. And they do something
He
completely
does
backwards.
something
And you're like, artillery, why are you here? You're on my side of the map. It's like, I don't know, dude. Then you look at the stats afterwards. The guy hasn't even shot a single time. You're like, okay, he's just tank destroying your artillery. But that's the thing. It's like there's a lot of different kinds of people who play public matches. And some of them are literally just playing for fun. And it is a lot of fun to go TD people with artillery, so I can't really hate.
Sure.
I can't say I haven't done it. I have.
Sure.
But Sheep is going down here in the corner. 07's not going to let that happen again.
No. They have learned from the first time. Sheep 243 from Fosta. 2 more shots from the RE251. He's going down, but he might be getting focus fired from any other members of 07 who definitely have him in their sights. But Fosta is going to be the one to finish him off. He took a lot of damage for it. He can drop down to half health there in the RE251 of his own. But that is the tank down. And again, we've seen how crucially the RE251s are for this team. But Fluky takes down ZXFT in response, just barrels right over the hill in the STP1. Is like, all right, you're going to take my tank? I'm going to take yours. Mufasa next looks like he's on the chopping block. Fluky going in for a little bit of ram there, and Mufasa's going to finish him out. Meanwhile, Foster doing a great job, exactly what Sheep did to Ping on the last time, which is just barrel those shots down from on top of the hill, slowly but surely willing the way. But Ping999 doing a great job keeping up. It is now a 4v4. The HP is close, without only about 200 of each other, and Vetro is getting lit up right now from Ping 462, going into that T22 medium. He's got to be careful. He's been going down extremely quick. quickly. Tatanakis in that IS-7 going head-to-head against Commodore in that E5. 431, one more shot. He'll be falling. Fluky's getting low, but Reaper finds Vetro. Fluky, one more shot away. Foster is going to pick that one up. And Commodore with Ton, a 2 double kill going out for 07. And that is going to try to bring them back into the lead here. It is 3-on-2 in favor of 07 right now. And Ald's taken a ton of damage, but Reaper is fairly high on HP. If they can take down Warbander before he goes down. But now it is just Reaper versus 3.
Just track.
Let's see if he can take
Or
the
not.
shots here. He has a lot of help.
Too.
There's one shot. Here comes the HP sharing. Ready? No, maybe not. I guess they're kind of in a weird position.
Yeah.
Fossa coming off down the hill, which is an interesting idea. Reaper waiting for that shot. Will take out Commodore if he can get it. Yes, just making sure he did. But he held it, looks like a little too long. Warbander will have his shot up. Fossa getting in the mix right now, coming up, getting ready to take that one. There's one. Fossa might be able to finish him off through the trees, through the fence. Will he find it? 96 seconds on the cap. That doesn't matter. Fossa was just driving through. Oh, and the bounce coming out from Reaper, and Warbander picking that one up. 07 tying it up now 2-2 for our fourth and final match. And for a second there, I thought Ping was actually going to win that one. I mean, yeah, they lost their scout right at the beginning, but they were doing a great job. Almost doing what maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, what 07 didn't do the first time, which was ignore sheep on top of the hill and then just go for the tank. They're like, Ping's like, hey, we've got him up there. He's going to do damage to us, but let's focus on what we got so far. And it worked out super well for him, I thought. Or maybe not. Maybe not. You're doing the, you thinking?
Let's go stats.
Let's go stats.
Not quite,
Cool.
because Foster did a boatload to them, I think.
Oh.
So 07. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
he did.
2200.
39.85 out of Warbander's E5. He was killing
Yeah,
it.
this is
Commodore did a great job as well, finishing off a very important IS-7 that could have changed everything. Just got word of a timeout from 07. As they've now tied it up and they're moving into steps, I believe.
Yep.
So here it is. Fosta,
Wow.
22:38.
This is why I'm on this side of the desk.
Well, you're confusing it with a different time we were talking about ignoring an E5 while you fired
Right.
into. It's on the same map, but yeah, you're confusing
Trying to apply
two different things
different
that we talked about, not
Yeah.
necessarily yet. So, yes, over here for Ping, Aldebaran, 39.82 is STP. That's really good. 14 shots, 10 hits, 10 penetrations. Reaper with his IS-7 is 24.09 and 3 kills. That was a weird match for Ping. They had their moments where they had things under control. They overcommitted a little bit too much here, a little bit not enough there.
Okay.
And basically they let the brawl happen too long, and 07's going to win in a brawl. I mean, if for no other reason than the latency. These guys are playing from Latin America. It's not easy.
True.
It's hard to deal with
Always
that stuff.
forget that.
The guy who rocks back and forth is frustrating to shoot at 80 ping, let alone 999 or whatever they're dealing
999
with.
ping.
At 200, 250, some of these guys.
Oh.
That's a quarter of a second delay.
So that okay. So
It's-
you do not
it's a
want to
big
bring
deal.
it to a brawl.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Or like long distance. Well, long distance sniping in one trajectory. Whatever. A brawl, maybe not work in their favor. Maybe, because I'm saying, like, if you're on a corner, no, it won't, because dancing on the corner is hard. However, if it's a head-to-head brawl, it doesn't really matter that much, because they're not going to hide
They
behind
can't
something.
run a lot. You sure?
But if you battle buddy against people with hard ping, it's really going to make a difference.
Hmm.
Anyways, in the overall brawl, the Route 251 got in just tons of damage. Fosta just left completely alone,
Up on
essentially,
top.
to keep firing.
Yeah.
There was a moment there where I was just saying, just track. It was just two E5s
Yeah,
versus an
At the
IS-7.
end. Right.
The E5s could permanently track the IS-7. If they track him once, they can't maneuver his hull, and the turret can't really
Keep up.
aim two ways at one time. They get behind the buildings or something. But the most important reason I was saying it wasn't necessarily about getting the E5s away to wombo combo for two sides. It was the fact that Fosta could fire from where he was into that area because there's no
Oh,
buildings there. So I'm like,
gotcha.
track,
So
and
he
now
can
Fosta
continue
doesn't have
the
to drive
damage.
anywhere because
Gotcha.
that is the key element anytime you're trying to fight. You want as many guns on one target at the same time.
Right.
So sometimes that involves, and this is something that we don't really get to highlight as much as I would like to on the show because it's impossible for us most of the time. Sometimes we just don't see it, or you have to kind of be in their tank to really see it at the time.
Okay.
But a lot of times you'll have a player that does something like drive and deliberately block a tank from going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He's keeping that other person in a shot vector for somebody else,
Huh.
even if it costs him health.
Huh. He's
So-
like, hey, there's more guns on this tank right now.
Say you have
It's
your
worth it.
W100s pulling around a corner, and you're going to get shot twice to guarantee that that W100 can light up somebody else. You do
Do
it
it.
because he's going to kill a tank, and you're going to take 2 shots. And as long as you hold him there,
Interesting.
your W100 gets to track him on the first shot. He'll probably repair and get tracked again. Then you can leave. You're like,
Wow.
wow, my job's done. He's dead.
All right. Well, I will be
Little,
definitely
little details.
looking out for that strategy right now as we go into steps where it is all tied up 2-2. Ping on defense, 0-7 on offense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
I will say, though, attempting to penetrate an IS-7 from that distance with an RU-251 is an exercise in frustration a lot of the time.
Sure.
So, a hater's going to hate, and that hater is me right now. And it's like, yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have had to come in, but it ultimately
But really
didn't
hard.
really matter. 07 with a 142 STBs, 2 T-22s, a TVP, and an RU-251. Ping with an IS-785, a 140, 2 907s, an AMX-30, and T-55A.
Sheep getting in position here. Looks like he's about to get boosted. The AMX-30. Very aggressive boost right there.
For the record.
A little bit of side angle. Uh-oh.
For the record, I mostly point out things like that, not necessarily to nitpick or point out where a professional player could have done something better. It's not about criticizing the players. It's about finding the opportunity to talk about something that is applicable to people who
Absolutely.
are watching.
Absolutely.
And that is something you can definitely learn from to see that. So I'm sorry, Foster and company, to make you part of my example.
Yeah. See, it's for the
Except
grit.
I'm not
It's just-
sorry.
It's
At all.
It's learning, guys. Hashtag knowledge, okay? It's for knowledge.
Knowledge.
No
Right.
ledge.
No.
Ping trying to boost an AMX-30 up on top of the hill. Did not quite work out. Looks like they didn't have the right angle for Sheep to get up there. AMX-30. For some reason, I want to talk about that tank. I want to know a little bit more about it right now. What is it good at? What is it bad at? Where do we see it used? Single shot, it looks like.
Yes, it is the Tier 9 French tank that is on the line of the AMX-30B, I believe.
Okay.
I don't really know a whole lot about it. I've played the 30B. I didn't like it a whole lot. It's basically kind of a French STB, and I already had an STB.
So you're like, this isn't worth it.
Granted, somebody out there can probably fill us in a little bit more on that, but I'll put it this way. I'll have to get back to you. I'll go play them, get a little bit more of an opinion on it.
Okay.
Typically, at this point, now that I've gotten the time to play a lot of these tanks and catch up with the new format and all that, typically if there's a tank that's brought and I don't really know a whole lot about it, it's because it's being brought for a very specific use, like it fits into something very, very well, but otherwise it's not that great of a tank.
So
if
it's
it
like
was
it's
a great
like a
tank,
one-trick pony.
I would be playing it a lot.
Gotcha.
But
so yeah, that's
I
good,
wasn't
good to
particularly
point out.
impressed with the 30B. It's not a bad tank. It's just I just like other tanks more, or I already had them and was used to them. So
Sure.
why not?
Well, no, it makes sense, and it is, and that
And
actually
I
is.
feel like I was cheating on my bat chat. My
yeah,
bat chat's my baby.
You got to keep that relationship strong, man.
Yeah, got to put in work. You know, relationships are work.
Work. Yeah,
Gotta give
guys.
'em
If
a lot
you're
of-
gonna
lot
learn
of-
something tonight from the stream, it's that
TLC.
relationships are work. Okay. And now back to tanks. ZXFT in the A3 position here in that TVP, T5051. Again,
I will say, it has a really cool exhaust port.
oh yeah, look at that.
It's like 2 muffler kind of things in the back.
Yeah, he got those tricked out in the
I
garage.
wonder if those.
Oh, they
actually
fire. Yeah,
somehow-
they fire cannons.
They like shoot oil like some sort of like go-go
They
gadget car.
shoot through the back. Yeah, that's why I brought it. That's his one
Flamethrowers.
trick.
That would be incredible.
That's his one
But no,
trick.
Maybe it has something to do with hiding thermal signatures. I doubt it because it's on the outside. But whatever. Looks dope. That's what I'm getting at.
Bottom line, looks dope. 4 minutes though.
Speaking of looking dope, T55A.
Let's start with the beauty pageant, and then we're bringing it back to the beauty pageant.
Dude, it's this map.
I love it.
This map is just full of nature's wonderful beauty. I just can't help but think about it. This Aldebaran in the T55A showing off a dirtier, more 90s grunge look.
Oh yeah.
Packing on a couple looks like cargo pants on a T55 if you look at it that way, with tons of little storage compartments. That is the German version of the T54, essentially, up armored, I believe. It's one I have, and I've played once, but I didn't get a very good look at it. So I'll have to come back to that as well. I was a little bit more focused on the 907s and the T22 because it's awesome. And of course the check tanks.
Yeah.
I absolutely had to learn about the autoloaders because otherwise I just see them fire and it's like, I don't know why I didn't pen.
Why?
But now I can.
Why did he hit him? Why
now
did
that
he
I've
hit him?
played it, it's like, well, it's because it's pretty hard to pen with that round.
Cool. I'm excited to try that one out as well. Foster applying some cap pressure. He took a shot. Still remaining unlit there. 288 going there on the Fluky. 599 now. Foster, though, getting off the cap. Looks like they liked just kind of applying that pressure there. Now, don't think it's kind of what they need to do, but they need to do something quickly as about 3 minutes
Sheep's
are
under
left.
fire.
See, he's on the run now in that AMX 30. One shot going into him. See if he can get away to safety. Looks like he gets around the corner just in time.
Looks like he got lit on fire at some point. He's missing his fire extinguisher.
Ooh, unfortunate. Now, did we talk about, is it something when you get lit on fire, it's easier to get lit on fire again? Is that a thing?
Yes, absolutely. So the number one thing that actually sets fires, this is actually a very commonly misunderstood thing. There's a fire chance on the engine natively. When the engine just takes damage, it could get set on fire.
Okay.
15, 5%, whatever.
Sure.
So some people think that once you get an automatic fire extinguisher, you can't be lit on fire anymore.
Not true.
Not true, because if your fuel tanks take damage and their module HP pool is diminished, Fluky going down in the 907 there,
Nice shot.
up there in the north. A bit of an awkward position, I believe. Yes, he's still trying to drive around. We were looking at him a little bit earlier. He got caught there after the tanks that were chasing sheep stopped chasing sheep. They took the moment to kill him, so that's why he's down. What I was saying is, if the fuel tanks lose all their HP, they essentially detonate, and they light the tank on fire.
Oh, okay.
So you can lose it by module damage as well. Fuel tanks are by far the best way to light a tank on fire. If you want to do it consistently,
Fuel tanks.
I used to do it in the 50, 100 all the time. Even in WGLNAs, you learn where the fuel tanks are on enemy tanks, and you just start pounding them.
Really?
And they will detonate a lot
Wow.
of the time, especially with Deadeye, which increases the chance of doing that kind of stuff. And the tank will light on fire. It's more reliable than you would expect. There's a little bit of RNG involved, like you can do module damage and all that. But yes, what I'm getting at is once you have then lit one on fire, unless you repair, does you use your your full repair kit or repair the fuel tank, it is at half the original HP. So it is now easier to light on fire because
Wow.
you only need to take away that amount.
Wow.
And usually a lot of them are like 2 shots of damage.
Whoa,
Two,
right
three.
now, though, Rock's taking 1,600 points of damage there on the cap. He showed up there for a second. 07 was trying to do something as they only have about 60 seconds left on the clock. And Ping's just not going to let him have it. ZX50 finds a kill, but Reaper takes down Rock's now down to 48 seconds. I mean, Fossa does have a lot of those cap points, so it's going to be up to Ping to push all forward to get him spotted, and they are doing that right now. Just a few more feet, and he should be lit up there. There it is, Fossa getting lit up, and he immediately takes damage from Mufasa, and that looks like that is all Ping might
Got the
need.
reset.
But Commodore does take down all, but there's Mufasa finishing off Fosta. Mufasa taking out Fosta, and now 07's only chance is to take this to Ping and try to win. We have a little bit of brawl there going on in the south. Synergy going up against Shimbo, and Object 907 against a T22.
This is the fight that matters the most.
Yeah, because if Shimbo can make it out of here,
Yeah, if he can run away, they can draw this game, which
It-
gives them a defensive win.
15 seconds on the clock. Mufasa takes down Synergy. Vetro takes down Reaper, but now Shimbo is free to run, and he has 9 seconds to get out of there. The shot from Warbandor just missing Mufasa. Now joining him with 3 seconds on the clock. It looks like this is going to be a defensive win for Ping999
Wow.
due to the time running out.
That's crazy.
Just because of Shimbo getting out of there, or just
Just the overall duration of that match and what,
How
what
it
went
ended.
on. Yeah, it's just how it ended. Take that long.
yeah, hey, that's a strategy. And again, we talked about the stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all I do is talk about this. We talked about the idea of once you get a consistent reset, it's just super easy.
Yes.
Yeah,
More or less.
more or less.
More or less.
Easy cake.
Start with Shimbo, 22:33 in his 907. Reaper falling up 21:56 in his IS-7, and Mufasa not only killing Fosta, but earning 1970
Woo!
HP in kind of a negative way if you think about it.
Negative HP.
Vetro with a T22 32-12.
31.
Dang.
32.
This tank's just so good. Look again, top 2
T22.
and 2.67K.
If you're not working on it, work toward it.
I mean, if you got nothing else to do, you're kind of waiting for somebody to cap or something, you just kind of farm those points. Holy! Speaking of which, Synergy,
Wow.
3.5 kilometers.
3.5.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's working on an
Speed,
in-game marathon.
travel,
But 29:30 out of his
damage.
T22. ZXFT with 2780. Check out. Yep. Whoa! Holy!
Everyone traveled so much.
No. That's not what I'm looking at.
Oh.
He
I got
He
really
fired
excited for
26
nothing.
times. He fired 26 times in the TVP.
17 hits?
26. 17 hits, 10 penetrations.
Wow.
For 2780. It's just more mind-blowing that he was able to fire 26 shots in the check tank. How do you have targets that often?
And 2.5. He drove 2.5. Wow. You have to get excited with me.
So caught up with
I
the
got
distance
excited.
right now.
I got excited for right now, ladies and gentlemen. Ping is up 3-2 against 07. 07 though is now on defense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
07 with 142 STBs, 2 T22s, a TVP, and an RU-251. Ping with 2 140s, 2 907s, 2 62As, and an RU-251.
So
Now, they are on offense, and they must find...
whoa. Wait, thanks.
I must find their tanks, and they are all right here in a fancy little formation.
Look at that. That nice little starting spawn.
Nice, guys.
Well done.
Nice.
Oh no. Oh, they broke it. Now, Ping. I always get excited when I see these situations on maps that I just know are so hard to assault. Is Ping just one-on-one on defense. Now, if they can come back and win this one on offense, they'll go right back on defense and have a really good chance of taking this game to 07. But that is definitely not. It's a lot easier said than done for sure, especially on steps. But if I were Ping right now, right? So this is me. Learn this game newer to. All right, we're on this team. We're on this map that where it's really hard to win on offense. So let's just go really ham against them and try to pick it up. But if not, we're going to go back on defense and try to just go that back and forth. Is that something people will ever do, or is that just not anything you'd ever want to actually attempt?
Sure, people do strategies like that all the time. People have all sorts of different kinds of philosophies about how to approach the strategy of strategy. The overall, you do want to look at it technically. It'd be the tactics, the strategy of the tactics involved, but I don't necessarily feel like that semantic outlook works for this game. You have a strategy that you attempt on a map, and then you have a strategy for the match. They're both strategies in my mind. Technically, the difference is strategy is more of a grander view, and tactics is about how you accomplish that little thing.
Okay.
So in a sense, I don't know. I'm ranting about nothing, honestly.
Right
Right now, what it comes down to is I consider how you get from one corner to the map or how you engage a specific area as a tactic in the overall outlook on things strategic. But yes, what I'm getting at is people do view strategy in all sorts of different ways.
Cool.
One thing I want to point out here that was shown to me earlier today by Tim, one of our wonderful production staff. The wheels on the 907 are also camoed.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I was just watching that, I was like, I wish they put like those like hypnotizing things with the black and white spirals on the wheels. That would be pretty sweet.
Like blue and yellow spinners.
Yeah. As this drive,
Tank
that would
stop
look
and my
so
wheels keep
sweet.
spinning.
There we go. If you guys hear me, let it know.
Pretty sure that would be terrible to put on a tank.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very stealthy.
But no, it's the opposite. It's distracting.
Ah, you have a point there.
Yeah.
It'd be really hard to aim at a spoke when it's spinning around like
You're
that.
like, wait. Is he moving? You just wouldn't know. It'd be terrifying. Right now we have a very standard defense coming out from 07. Just kind of going over on the north there, spread 7-8 line. Ping, Shimbo, the 907, that A3 area. It looks like they're just possibly going for the northern cap. They are sending 2 of their 140s back. See where they kind of end up going. Have that 907 driven by Fluky driving right up the center road of the map. And they have an RU-251 in the back, making sure no one can come back and flank them.
Fausto working on his acceptance to the Treekin Society.
Look at that. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be a thing. If you could just like detach a tree, put it on your tank, and drive around as a moving bush.
No, not in this game at least.
Sure.
I mean, it was definitely done in real life.
Right. Yeah. Hey, see, if they want to be more accurate, we gotta tell them about this. Vetro and Camel are both taking a little bit of damage once they popped up. Shimbo doing a great job keeping them lit, so the rest of Ping999 can do some damage. But again, like we were talking about, Ping does have quite a bit of a road ahead of them if they're going to pick up this victory. But if they do, they're going to sit pretty, finding a double victory against 07. They could close this out 5-2. But 07 on defense, it's now their job to stop them. Sheep in the RU-251 starting to move now following that K-line. And the two 140s have met up. Looks like they're starting to push down over to the east. Interesting to see. We have the T62A is also kind of bunched up. Ping, very spread out right now, David, and not so much for 07. Looking at the map, right, again, taking all terrain out of it and I guess the game, but it's looking like Ping is about to just start sandwiching 07 to a crater.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. Catch them into this bowl right here. So we talked about before, if too many people get in this area, you just rack it up from all sorts of different angles. I mean, we take one little look around it. Aside from people poking up in these weird places, hold on.
Oh, sheep.
No, okay. Aside from people popping up in these weird places of differing heights, like little pockets of depression, like this one. See this? See how crazy this is?
Oh, weird.
You actually feel like a T-22 or something in here. There's very few angles you can
Wow,
penetrate from.
very interesting.
This is why you have to study this side so much to even bother playing it, and why so many teams, I feel like, get afraid of it and go north, because you can get ruined 5 ways to Sunday if you walk over there and you don't know what you're doing. But I mean, that's just one side, let alone the rocks and all the other stuff around here. It is the danger zone.
Man, that's the beauty of like taking these cameras from up top to just terrain level. You see all the different bumps and nooks and crannies that these guys have to deal with.
Unfortunately, those are absolutely terrible ways of viewing the game during real combat, because you miss like 90% of stuff.
Right.
So we can't do it all the time. But
when we can, you see
when
stuff
you
like
can.
that.
That one.
Right
that
now-
one, I remember the first time I saw that.
You're like, why?
Yeah, we're playing Virtus Pro, and then all of a sudden,
Oh,
in
no.
practice,
Oh, no.
all of a sudden the 1390
Okay.
pokes up there and just kills one of us. And we're like, dude, that exists? Cool. And the reset there.
Oh, Fossa.
On Cap. Fossa just sacrificed himself for it. Big deal as far as he was concerned.
Wow. Todd, though, and the rest of Ping, I mean, obviously that was a sacrificial play. They needed to get that reset. They needed to get the spots. So now it's going to be up to Ping to, with 2 minutes left, I guess, just push against 07, which they are doing. They're coming at it from the south, 907 from the north, and the rest coming straight against the defending team. They have 2 minutes to take down 07 to find a victory. Someone just needs to stay alive or take it to them. They are below, though, in HP, but with ZXFT finding Tauntauncus, that is a 1-for-1 exchange here, and the battle has begun. Warbanner finds Reaper Mufasa taking down rocks, and here we go. A little bit of a skirmish. Fluky, 1,100 points of damage there. ZXFT, though, getting focused down by Ping 407. Fluky picks up ZXFT. Warbanner finds Fluky, though, all with Camodor, a back-and-forth fight going between both these teams. Who is going to come out on top? Will it be 07 with a victory to tie up, or will it be Ping to take the lead? It looks like it's going to be Ping to increase that lead 4-2. Onto steps here. Synergy 3K getting so low. He does take down Mufasa, though. It is now a 3-on-2, 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock, but this looks like plenty of time for Ping to take down now what is just Warbander. A 907 and a 140 against a 140. This should be Ping's game. Let's see what Warbander can do. Doing a little bit of damage, doing a lot of damage there onto all, dropping him below half health, but taking shots from both sides is just not a position you want to be in if you want to stay alive. 575, one more shot, and that should do it. He doesn't even finish off all, then Ping999 taking their 4th victory against 07 is now going to move on to defense on steps, and this could be the 5-2 victory that I was so excited for Ping to get. Yeah, being in this position again, again, like talking right before the map is like, if you're that team, man, I mean, how pumped would you be if, like, guys, we just won again an offensive game on a defensive-heavy map? Great, we're going to defense. This is our 5th and final victory. I'd be so pumped right now if I were them.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see what they've got. But 07, again, they still can come back. Ping just showed it's not impossible to win an offense, so they'll be on offense now.
You know what I'm excited to see?
How
How many hit points each team removed from one another?
Okay, where would we find such a thing?
Maybe the battle results?
Wait, look, something's happening on the screen.
Oh, hey.
Whoa!
Somebody already did this. That's amazing. How can you math that fast?
It's like
I certainly can't.
man,
Aldebaran with a
computers.
140 and 3684. Shimbo right behind him in 907, 3406. They just took all the damage from the whole scene. That's just insane. That shouldn't really happen, but it's good.
Good for them.
For Aldebaran just constantly racking it up all match series long. Then over here for 07, Warbander, 35-27 out of his 140. Both T22s breaking 2,000. Everybody else kind of struggling to find in there. STBs, like we said, hard tanks to play. 18 shots, 3 hits.
Wow.
13 shots, 2 hits.
Wow.
They're
Wow.
hard tanks to play. They're hard tanks to play. They are hard tanks to play.
And you said, I mean, you kind of talked about in the beginning. There's a lot to get into, but I mean, could you kind of start getting into like what makes it so difficult? Is it
The only way I can describe
accuracy?
it,
Is it
the only way I can describe it is the STB feels like it doubles your shot lag. Like just for some reason. It doesn't actually do it. There's something about the feel of the tank.
Like the
It
way
always
everything
feels
comes
like,
together.
It feels like the bullet comes out late or something. So once you learn to like accommodate for that, it's a
Then
great
you're
tank.
fine.
But if you rush it and you want to play it like peek and fire like you do with 140s and stuff, you're gonna miss
Not doable.
everything.
All
Gonna miss
right.
everything.
So there's another lesson for you guys at home if you're trying to look at the STB ones. But right now,
Great tank though.
Ping is one more victory away to finishing off the night. Can they do it, or can 07 come back? Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
07 with a 140, 2 STBs, 2 T22s, a TVP, and an RU-251. Ping with 2 140s, 2 907s, 2 62As, and RU-251. Effectively bringing 6 Tier 10 Russian mediums and a light tank.
Okay. Utility log?
What?
Utility log?
Utility?
Log.
Oh, utility. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. They are clearly followers of the utility log, as we can see.
Look at that! Look at that utility log.
They didn't paint that one, though.
No.
I think the other ones get painted. At least one of them does. Nope. T62. Slightly smaller utility log. No, it's hidden under the fenders. That's classy.
That's nice.
It's a snazzy
you
way
gotta
of doing
protect
things.
you gotta protect your utility log.
Well, some logs are bigger than others, apparently. Anyways, so Aldebaran and the rest of Ping just chilling here in the northeast. 07 is going to move across the southern side of the map. They're going to try and get over there in the east and look for some way of forcing this fight to happen. Eventually, taking their time to do a little bit of bounding, as we've talked about in the past. And this is an important match for 07, obviously, not just because
It's
not an important, I mean, it's an important game, not just because they're one away from a loss, but if they lose this match overall, they've effectively lost it to somebody who is pretty far down in the standings to them, and that will affect their standings big time. They're not losing. Actually, now that I think about it, it's not as bad as if they lost to somebody close to them, because then that somebody gets the leg up on them directly. So, no, I'm gonna backtrack there.
Okay.
They want to win it for the points,
right. Well, you want to win,
but assuming Ping stays in the lower part of the bracket, which is an assumption at this point in time, so they're obviously they come back a lot stronger here in 2016.
Work.
Then it's not as big of a deal, but right now, 07 are already losing 2 minutes to, I don't really know what, rotations,
Yeah,
I
They
suppose.
went north. Now they're coming back down to the east.
Somebody want to make a hot pocket.
Always.
You need a lot more in 2 minutes to make a hot pocket. Trust me, I
yeah.
know.
If you
know.
don't try to rush a hot pocket.
No,
Just don't.
That's just
Wrong.
it's just dangerous.
Just wrong. That's the danger zone right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Shimbo really looks like he was the only one who's been lit up so far for Ping, if I am not mistaken. There he goes again. So good denial of information also for Ping. Really 07 not really knowing where a lot of them are at. There goes the RE251 now being spotted in the center. He's got to be careful though. Sheep not in a lot of cover there. Taking a shot, dropping him down to 842. RE251, that was...
Take a little bit of a closer look there. Using the rock and the downhill grade to avoid an incredible laser show. Ooh, Foster, though, might be able to pick him up here as he escapes. Will get one more shot in. If he hits it square.
Oh,
or he
look at
won't
that!
Fire at all.
And also right at the end there, just in case, Mufasa coming in for maybe a possible block. Again, battle buddies, guys. That is what it looks like. Just taking the bullet.
Oh, he probably got out of render range. My fault. I thought Foster was actually a little bit closer up than he was.
Gotcha.
I thought he was up against that building. Nope. Now Foster's the one that's isolated, and he is hanging out a little bit too long in the danger zone itself. He's going to get wombo comboed high-low from Mufasa.
Oh, here we
and
go.
Sheep, his best chance to go head-to-head with Sheep and win that fight, but one shot out does not bode well for him as Mufasa's going to come in and really ruin his parade.
Well, let's take a one shot there. There's 279 going to the RE251, 515. Now he's just being chased. Looks like there might not be a place he can go. Tries to take the corner, turns it pretty tight. So he's going to buy himself a little bit of time, but it looks like it won't be enough. One shot going through. Mufasa picks that one up. And now here comes the counter push for 07. They know that they are 2 tanks up there over in the west. They're going to try to use that for their advantage. Let's see if they can. As Fluky is in a good position to kind of stop what 07 is doing. He's going to get a lot of free damage here, as long as he's careful himself. 682 there going onto Commodore, 358 going to Rocks, and 07 is slowly losing this battle, getting their health whittled away Ping just now dropping below the 10,000 HP mark.
Directly in the danger zone.
Where
that we were talking about before.
You're right. You're absolutely right. All those guys in the crater. So this is not a good place to be. But there's 15 seconds on the clock, so they're just going to try to use that kind of pressure. A nice reset from Symbol there onto Rocks. 320. Driving the clock back down to 13, resetting it again, but now they're just going to get surrounded, and this should be an elephant graveyard. 407 on the eastern cap. Reaper taking down Rocks. Warbander getting extremely low right now. Sheep coming around the side, getting right into it, making sure, and the enemy cannot go anywhere. Synergy 3K is the only full health member right now. 407, and the rest of them are falling. Vetro and Camden do find Sheep and Ald, but Reaper takes on ZXFT. Vetro is one more shot away. 7 damage from the Ram. Mufasa gonna finish him off there with a shot. Commodore and Synergy are the remaining members. 1,300 health with Reaper finding Commodore. Synergy does find Shimbo. It's a 3-on-1, and this looks like it is Ping999's victory. 5-2 against 07, closing out our 4th and final match of the night. So well job there on steps, and you pretty much forecast it. You said that is not a good place to be if you're going for there over on the western side on steps or eastern side on steps. They got surrounded, and that's what it looks like. Just a lot of death in one area.
Give him a little bit of an option to get back in as well. Overplaying the guy in what we call the dryness spot a little bit. He can actually stay there and wait for everybody else to show up, and then because once they all can turn and focus to him, he's a little bit more of a deal. But you can kind of wombo that back and forth, right? They're either firing at people incoming, or they're firing where Sheep was.
Right.
So they did it pretty well.
All right, well, there it is, picking up that victory. Anything in stats that stand out? Maybe you just want to read them off, or do you want to go to it?
Let us view them.
Let's go to it. Final one of the night.
There they are.
In all their glory.
I almost want to immediately close it, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. Reaper with 3,600. Mufasa, 2,800. Tandanakas with 2,000. Over here for 07. Vetro carrying the torch all night. 2617. Synergy, 2297. And Rock's not getting it done in the STB. Sorry to highlight you for that. I'll try to make it up for you.
Some other way. And some other time, but not now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go over the 4 matches that we had tonight, just in case you missed anything. Up first, we had Noble beating Aquatic 5-3, followed by Eclipse beating Googly 5-1. Third, Simp beating Simple Tankers 5-1. Rip My Fantasy. And finally, Ping beating 07, which you guys just saw there, 5-2. David, out of the 4 matches tonight, which one was your most fun to watch?
It's been a weird night, Christian.
It has been.
It's been a weird night.
It's probably the best way to describe that one. Even though Simp and Simple Tankers did not go the way I thought to.
I'd have to go with Aquatic and Noble.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably the best match of the night.
It was. That's true. I mean, they got the closest out of anyone.
Although it was nice to see Simp come back to form and really dominate.
Sure.
I always like to see it. I don't care who they are. I like to see any team show up, play strong, and just ruin their opponent, even if I got a lot of fantasy points on them. And we joke about it. Yeah. I really don't care. I just want to see really, really good tank fights.
Absolutely, and that was exactly what they gave to us there. But thank you for reminding me. Aquatic versus Noble was a really fun, the back and forth between both these teams. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is done for we are now our 5th week now. Ending out our 5th week. We're definitely over halfway through the season, and it'll be interesting to see the standings, guys. Make sure you check them out on fantasywgl.com. Check us out also on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. Thank you for watching this on BattleViewer.com for all of you that did. And finally, follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you. Make sure to tune in Tuesday, January 12th for our next 4 matches. Up first, we are going to have Simple Tankers versus Car Wanted versus next Noble versus High Voltage. So a rematch of the Season 1 finals. Then 07 versus Eclipse. And finally, Aquatic M60s versus Simp. Very exciting matches for next week. Make sure you guys check them out. On behalf of everyone here at the WGLNA, that has been David Williams. I am Christian Toma, and as always, thanks for stopping by.